Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to explore a really beautiful and profound theme from the Quran, knowledge. But not the kind of knowledge that's about power or control. We're talking about knowledge as a path, a journey toward true humility.
So let's begin in the best way we can. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Shaitan. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. With that, let's open our hearts.
You know, the part of the Quran we're reflecting on today, the 16th Juzʼ, it asks us this incredibly deep question. It really makes you stop and think. Are you gathering knowledge so you can control the world around you? Or is it so you can better understand your small, humble place within it? This question is going to be our guide through this whole reflection.
To really unpack this, we're going to dive into 4 amazing stories from the Quran. Now, on the surface, they seem like they're about completely different things. But as we'll see, they all point to one single powerful truth about what knowledge really is. So here are our 4 guides for today. First, that mysterious journey of Prophet Moses, Musa, peace be upon him, with the wise teacher, Al-Hidr. Then we have the story of the great just ruler, Dhu al-Qarnayn. We'll also reflect on the incredible trial of Mary, or Maryam, may Allah be pleased with her. And finally, we'll look at that epic showdown between Musa and the unbelievably arrogant Pharaoh, or Firan.
All right, so let's start with Musa and Al-Khidr. Try to put yourself in Musa's shoes for a minute. These poor fishermen give them a ride on their boat for free, and the first thing Al-Khidr does is he puts a hole in it. I mean, from Musa's perspective, and let's be honest, from ours too, this makes absolutely no sense. It just seems like a senseless act of harm.
And then it gets so much worse. They meet a young boy, and Al-Khidr, he takes the boy's life. I mean, can you imagine the shock? Musa's alarm is completely justified. This isn't just confusing, it goes against every single moral law he knows. How could a person of God do something so terrible? And the last straw? They get to a town, they ask for food and water, and the people there completely refuse them. They're just plain rude. And yet, what does Al-Khidr do? He sees a wall that's about to fall down, and he just spends his time and energy fixing it for people who wouldn't even give them a drink of water. For Musa, a prophet of God whose whole life is about clear laws and justice, this is all deeply, deeply troubling, because he can only judge based on what he sees, the outer appearance, the zahir. Okay, and this is where the whole story flips on its head. We're about to move from the outer appearance, the zahir, to the hidden wisdom, the inner meaning, which is called the batin. And this shift, well, it isn't just a plot twist, it's the whole point.
This is the big reveal. It turns out there was a tyrannical king just up ahead who was seizing every good boat by force. By damaging it slightly, Al-Khidr actually saved it for the poor fishermen. And the young boy, as tragic as it was, God knew he would grow up to bring his devout, believing parents nothing but misery and suffering. His death was a protection for them. And that wall, well, buried underneath it was a treasure, a hidden inheritance that belonged to 2 young orphans. Repairing the wall protected it until they were old enough to claim it. See, every single action that looked harsh on the outside was actually an act of deep, hidden mercy.
And that brings us right to the heart of the lesson. True knowledge, the kind the Quran talks about, isn't about collecting facts or trying to master the surface of life. It's about developing an awareness that life has incredible depth, and humbly realizing that what we see, well, it's almost never the whole picture. It's about learning to trust the wisdom that we can't see.
This whole theme of humility just unfolds so beautifully through our other stories too. It starts with Musa learning the very painful lesson about the limits of his own judgment. Then, we see this humility in action with Dhu al-Qarnayn, a leader with immense power. He builds this incredible wall, and when everyone praises him, he doesn't take credit. He says, "This is a mercy from my Lord." That's humble leadership. Then, with Maryam, we see absolute trust. Her story is the embodiment of tawakkul, which is this active, powerful reliance on God's plan, even when everything looks impossible and shameful. And finally, after learning all this, Musa confronts Fir'aun's pride not with his own strength, but with divine truth. It's a clear path. You learn, then you lead with humility, you trust, and then you can stand for the truth.
So, the big question is, how does this ancient wisdom speak to us, right here, right now? Well, it holds up a mirror to one of the biggest challenges of our modern world.
Think about it. We live in the age of information, right? We are just swimming in data. It's endless. But what does all that information do to us? A lot of the time, it just inflates our ego. It makes us feel like we know everything, that we can control everything. Wisdom, though, that's something different. It's rare, and its fruit isn't pride, it's humility. It doesn't seek control, it seeks understanding. It doesn't seek certainty, it seeks trust.
And that's the core reminder from the Quran in these stories. Reality is always, always deeper than what we can perceive. It's like a divine lesson in being aware of our own biases, a reminder that the data we see isn't the whole story. So humility is the essential safeguard. It's the one thing that protects all our knowledge and expertise from hardening into that cold, hard arrogance of Fir'aun, who was absolutely convinced that what he saw was the only reality there was.
So what do we do with all this? How do we actually walk this path? Well, this next part offers a few practical steps for the heart. It's a practice known as tazkiyah, which is this beautiful idea of purifying the self, of polishing the heart so it can reflect a deeper truth.
So here's a little spiritual exercise for us. First, just reflect. Be honest with yourself. When you learn something new, does it make you feel humble or does it make you feel a little proud? Second, actively question your own point of view. Ask yourself, where in my life am I only seeing the damaged boat and missing the bigger picture? Third, consciously practice trust. Can you lean into the idea of a higher wisdom when things just don't make sense? And finally, here's a very practical step. Today, just for today, try to accept one situation that confuses or frustrates you without demanding to know why. Just let it be and trust.
And we can seal this whole practice with this absolutely beautiful prayer, this dua, from the Quran itself. It's the prayer of every sincere seeker. My Lord, increase me in knowledge. And of course, we mean knowledge that brings us closer to you, knowledge that softens our hearts and makes us more humble.
Okay, let's bring all these threads together now with a final thought and a prayer for all of us.
This really sums it all up, doesn't it? When knowledge is combined with arrogance, the outcome is always collapse, just like with Fir'aun. When knowledge is pursued with humility, the outcome is true wisdom, the kind of Musa eventually found. And when we're faced with things we just can't understand, pure trust leads to divine care, just like Mariam experienced. The path we choose on the inside really does determine our reality on the outside.
So we end right back where we started, with a question to carry with us in our hearts. In the end, it's not about how much you know. It's not a competition. The real question, the one that truly matters, is this. Does your knowledge make you humble, or does it make you proud?
This reflection was compiled with deep gratitude by Mir Ali Shah. We humbly ask for your forgiveness and for God's acceptance for any mistakes or any AI-related mispronunciations. May we all be granted knowledge that truly benefits, hearts that are filled with humility, and a constant remembrance of the divine. Peace be with you.